Greetings, beloved hearts. It is I, Father Asun, that am given this opportunity, and grateful I am to have these few precious moments with you. From the fifth dimension and beyond, from the Ascended Master's perspective and awareness, we view what is taking place in your earth realm. As we observe the current energetic timelines as critical phases of possibility, probability, and certainty. In this, Mother Akasha has shared recently that we see 5 major storms of upheaval unfolding in your dimension. Let us remember, your earth is yet in early years of this new incoming 7th permanent golden age that began in 2012. And at this time, from great cosmic sources of light in systems of worlds and heavenly worlds, is coming trillions of cosmic light rays that are drenching upon humanity and all life on earth with the desire that this incoming light pushes to the surface all that is not the light, all that desires to be healed and to be addressed. Out of these storms, the desire is a great raising activity. The raising of the silent majority, a return to a heart of conscience amongst the peoples that desire truth, justice, equality, and freedom. Out of the first storm, the viral storm that is yet in this world, people in greater numbers will become aware of what is poisoning their bodies, what is minimizing their health, and a new, greater demand for pure food and water, the end of the use of wrong chemicals of science that are harming people's bodies, harming the powers of nature and the growth of healthy foods. Out of this storm, a majority of the peoples of earth will find their voice, find their will, demand the truth, and then all the changes required so that everyone has the right and the ability to live in healthy bodies. And now, beloved hearts, what has always been an abomination to my sight, prejudice, racism. Now, the second of 5 storms has hit. And prejudice, racism, inequality, injustice against peoples of color. The silent and not so silent deadly force of hateful racism against people of color is being pushed to the surface by the greater incoming light to your earth. And in this great incoming of light, all that is not for the light shall be pushed to the surface. All that is not of the light shall now be revealed so that it can be healed. And the moral compass of the majority of people can find its voice, must find its voice, must find its will. For within the hearts of humankind, life within each of you is desiring an end now. Now, now, I say to you, of all racial prejudice, hateful brutality, inequality, and injustice that has become too common for too long against people of color. And I, Father, Son, say to you, how in heaven's name are you going to help minorities of people with different skin color? For I say unto you, not until the vast majority of people speak up and demand change, equality, and justice, and an end to all racism, will the vast minorities of people of color begin to know the rightful freedom that belongs to them as much as anyone else. Do you, beloved hearts who know me, do you accept me as son? Do you? Do you realize I am an ascended being with skin color other than what is considered white? Do you know that I have a golden brown skin in a range of color between what you know as skin color of Latinos and East Indians? That in that range, that is my skin color? Did you know that? Well, now you know. And do you still love me? Do you love my twin flame Akasha, whose skin color is more a blend of white and gold? Do you love the great master Kutumi, whose skin color is East Indian? Kuan Yin, whose skin and culture is Oriental? Lord Maitreya, Lady Leto, the Lord Buddha? We are not pale faces. And do you love Jesus Christ, who came from the lands of Judea and has a beautiful golden brown skin? I say to you that I feel it is tragic that in your realm and in your world, that the color of skin is even a conversation. If anything, it ought to be a celebration of the God-given spectrum of color, of energy, and how wonderful that it is that even our physical bodies can reflect the divine harmony and spectrum of color, of light. Color and light that synthesizes magnificently with the music of the higher spheres. Color, light, energy, sound. The great orchestration of life in all its splendor. The next Ascended Master broadcast on Friday, you will be hearing from one that you may not be quite familiar with. She is known as Queen Anra. She will address you this Friday. And she is the Queen Mother of the great system of Ra, who visited your earth a long time ago and produced a bloodline of magnificent queens, known as the African queens. Nefertari, Nefertiti, Cleopatra. And these queens, ascended and free, serve with Queen Anra, who has the most beautiful, stunning black color. And they serve on grand councils of Andromeda, the Pleiades, and Ceres systems of worlds. And I bring them up because they too are coming and have designed magnificent plans to assist the people of Earth in this new golden age. My goodness. To all of you who are good and constructive and love color. Color in all its spectrum. And the fact that color can come forth so vibrant and magnificent in the skin of a person's body. That you will know how joyous color and vibrant energy, color influences life. It almost breaks my heart to see how people of color are treated with such injustice, inequality, and even hatred. So now, the second storm of 5 has begun. And the light pouring to the people of Earth from higher realms seeks to push up and reveal an ancient of ancient hatred, racism, and seeks to reveal this and how it acts, sometimes consciously and other times unconsciously, through the lives of people. Racism too often hides its ugly head. Yet the light is coming. so that action can come, change can come, and all peoples of all colors can be seen and known as equal, all of us children of Mother, Father, God. So this second storm and the magnificent, peaceful protests is not going to stop. For this second storm is about the vast majority of the citizens of America and the world too, to come together and be one voice. The active, demanding choice of the majority of people who will demand the end of racism, brutality, injustices, and more. Minorities of people of color cannot do this by themselves. They need all of you. The entire people of earth must come together now and must take action now to end for all time all racial hatred. And I say unto you, the majority and the minority must become one people under God, demanding liberty, justice, respect, and freedom for all, with every person given the same rightful opportunities. Beloved hearts, this storm that you see, tens of thousands of people in cities around the world, wonderful, peaceful protests. This storm is not going to go away. For what you are seeing as the vast peaceful protests taking place in cities of the world is exactly what is required. A coming together of all peoples together, the majority and minority coming together as one people under God. So where can you help? Even if you think that you are the least racial person around, I would ask yourself, examine yourself, start with yourself. And I would ask you that you would ask God, that you would ask the ascended masters and angels to look deeply into your heart, into your life, to see if there is an ounce of racism in yourself. And if God finds that there is some old ancient racism in you, that the light of God shines so intensely through you and remove this terrible blemish upon life, racism, to remove it, its cause, effect, and all memory of it. Your world, as people rise to become one vast majority, demanding equality and justice and opportunity equal to all, I urge you to call upon the ascended masters and the angels of the sacred fire, to call upon Saint Germain, all who work with the purifying flames, and demand divine intervention that will release oceans and oceans of the violet purifying flames to everyone on earth, and to remove all qualities of racism and hatred from the people of earth. I urge you all to call upon the Goddess of Light and Jesus Christ and angels to blaze trillions and trillions and trillions of light rays through the minds and feelings of the people everywhere, to purify them, to remove any racism and hatred. And I call upon trillions and trillions and trillions of light rays to the people of earth. Light that will grow a new desire. Light that will liberate the people of earth. Light that will grow within every citizen of the I Am race. A new, marvelous appreciation of the great spectrum of color. And in truth, how wonderful your physical bodies and their ability to reflect skin of different tones and ranges of color. So magnificent. May the hearts, the noble hearts, and the hearts of God conscience be a new voice. Let the majority and the minority come together as one people, demanding change. For I say unto you, blessed hearts, until the root of racism is removed from the people of earth, and it is revealed by the light for what it is, hatred and nothing more than hatred. We do not condemn the people of earth. Rather, I would prefer to come in my healing presence, in my lightful presence, in my loving presence, and blaze my light and love through any person who has a blemish of hatefulness or racism towards another or another group of people. I would not condemn them. I would come to them and seek to lift that right out of them so they can be made whole again, free of the terrible prejudice of hatred. This storm will remain until change comes. And when you think of what are the next storms, for Mother Akasha reveals that in a timeline of high probabilities of what is seen for your world are storms intended to bring the vast majority of the people together to demand change. And have you thought that perhaps these storms, of which the second is hitting, that these storms are to reveal the injustices, what has been hidden against the people, and what now must be revealed, sorted out, and a new way of living and being and loving come forth in your world. Have you considered that one of the next storms coming may have to do with something of weather conditions? How brutalized have the powers of nature and the forces of the elements? Brutalized by inventions of this world, by those willing to pollute and to harm the very Garden of Eden this world was originally created. Will the powers of nature, will they strike back for all ways that they have been poisoned? So that the vast majority of people can come together and demand change and the invention of new, loving technologies and the hearts of the majority of people demanding the healing of their planet and the powers of nature. I say to you, precious hearts, I am certain that one of these 5 storms to awaken and free the people of earth will have much to do with the powers of nature and the forces of the elements. And if I was you, I would not allow a day to pass that you don't use your life and pour your blessings, pour love from your heart flame to the elements, earth, air, water, fire. Pour your love to them. Demand uncountable legions of the angelic host. Enter your lower atmosphere and pour the sacred fire everywhere to purify Mother Nature. And what about the other kingdoms that you share life with? The animal kingdom, the bird kingdom, and so forth. The great sea kingdom. What about them? They have suffered the poisoning of pollution. And they have suffered in the hands of humanity. What storm will come from those kingdoms, demanding a new majority of people come together, that brings the end of the mistreatment of other kingdoms that share life with you? Consider these things, beloved precious hearts, and make sure that the light, and only the light, and the lantern of light of Jesus Christ is placed over the door of your home. That you decree that the light of God and the love of God take its toll now. That all majorities and minorities of peoples come together as one people. No golden age succeeds without the purging of hatred and harmfulness. And the purge has begun. Every year in May and then again in November are two periods of time in which for 49 days there is a great outpouring of light to the people of Earth. These 49 sacred days, this great outpouring of light, this year, which began on May 28th and lasts through to July 15th, this year, this outpouring of light is being overseen by the Director Logos, Mother Akasha, Master Jesus, and the Ascended Master, Martin Luther King. That's right. You heard me correctly. That Martin Luther King, and I don't think I have to remind you that he is a man of color, is ascended and free. And he aligns with all the ascended masters, knowing there is a divine plan that will bring the most permanent golden age upon this earth. Yet first, the light and the sacred fire must come to the earth. And it will reveal the hatred. It will reveal what is against the light. So the vast majority of people come together and stand as one mighty people, demanding change, justice to life, to self, to each other, justice to the other kingdoms that live upon your planet with you, justice to the powers of nature and the forces of the elements, and finally, justice to the elemental beings. That is tragically this group lost in your awareness. Elemental beings. Only remembered in lore and children's fairy tales. Elemental beings who used to have their own small landmass called the lands of Pan out in the Pacific Ocean. And those beings, those elemental beings, fairies, gnomes, leprechauns, dragons, elves, dwarves, and hundreds of other types of elemental beings, due to the discord on the surface of your planet, long ago were driven underground to survive. In this new seventh golden age, it is the divine plan that they will be able to come back to the surface It is the divine plan that angels are intended to walk physically and visibly amongst all of you, helping you. Do you really think this is possible? As long as an ounce of harmfulness exists in you, I beg of you, if you are really interested in knowing what does essential harmlessness, what does that feel? What does that feel like? And if you will call to me, Papa Asun, one night in your prayers, and you say to me, Asun, Papa, I love this idea of essential harmlessness from the center of my being flowing out from me and all expressions into this world. Father, come to me and help me to feel essential harmlessness. Harmlessness to self, to others. Harmlessness to all peoples. Harmlessness to this planet and the powers of nature. Help me, Father, to feel once again essential harmlessness, to radiate essential harmlessness through this life I have been given. If you will call upon me, I will draw forth from the center of your God being that force of essential harmlessness that has too often been silenced by a whole range of human emotions. As I leave you this day, I would remind you that in these 49 days outpouring of light, that each day a different ascended master is chosen to pour their light to the world. Today, June 2nd, it is the goddess of liberty. The goddess of liberty who loves America, who is pouring forth her light. And I ask you, wherever you live, would you call to her? Would you call upon Goddess of Liberty to pour her light through all the American people, and that her light liberate them and draw the people together? No longer a majority or a minority. One people under God. She can help. She is the goddess of liberty. And if you call upon her to help America at this hour, no matter where you live, I know that she will turn and pour her mighty qualities of life to you and to your home. I am Asun, and I remain your humble servant. Dear friends, Namaste, Namaste, Namaste.